Hello, my friends. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. And as always, so glad to have you along with me as I get ready here in the studio to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. That show, by the way, is on more than 30 stations across our great state of Michigan. I also make it available as a podcast because actually doesn't everything have to be available as a podcast these days? That podcast is on my Facebook page, on my YouTube channel. It's Instagram. It's a real pain to get it on Instagram. It's also on LinkedIn. I need to attach my Vimeo channel to it as well, but Facebook and YouTube are primarily my primary ways of reaching people with my Behind the Mic segment, which you are watching right now, either live or the recorded version, and then also Wednesday Night Live that airs or streams Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. DJ, good morning, buddy. How are you? Appreciate you being along with us. Bruce, there you go. Always a pleasure. Jerry, how are things in the Adirondacks this morning? Wonderful, I'm assuming, as they are here in the great state of Michigan. I think the weather may have finally broken. If we can just get a break, or I think maybe we have a break now from those northeast winds that just absolutely killed us all early spring long. We shall see. Good morning, Mike. How are you, my friend? Mike, an American hero, in my opinion, and a friend of mine, and proud to call you a friend, Mike, and I will look forward to seeing you at the Walleye for Warriors event. I didn't know, last minute something came up, a family obligation, didn't know if I was going to be able to make it. Now, I'm not fishing in Walleye for Warriors, but I will be there in the afternoon Sunday as one of the MCs of the event. TJ, been doing good on Lake Erie. Got 31 a few days ago with our crew. Excellent, TJ. That is outstanding fishing. So glad to hear that. I have not been out. Do not have a boat yet. So I'm doing as much golfing as I can while I wait for the boat to come in. Austin, in the hospital with pneumonia, hoping for a fast recovery to get back fishing. Man. Austin, good luck to you on that. Prayers for a speedy recovery. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. Well, thank you, Mike. That's nice of you to say, but I don't do much at Walleye for Warriors. Scott Hand and that entire crew spend months and months and months getting ready for that event. The folks at Linwood Beach Marina, all the volunteers, the people who put the food together, the people who coordinate that whole event. They do all the work. I just show up at the last minute and say hi and shake hands. But thank you, Mike, for saying that. Hey, Jim, I got that picture of that brown you caught in, what was it? It was either 30 feet of water or 13 feet of water. I think it was 30. Congrats. And yeah, you're right. I do like to see pictures of people in people's pictures you send me, whether they're hunting or fishing pictures. I do like to see people for the most part. Now, you've said, well, I was alone. I couldn't do it. I shoot pictures when I'm alone all the time. Selfie. Hold the fish up, put the phone in front of you, right? Put the phone in front of you, and then boom, you take your picture. The picture of my grandson Trent and I, there was nobody else out there. I carry a little portable tripod with me. I set the picture up, and then I snap it with my phone. So there are ways to do it. Jerry said he stopped cleaning fish to watch the show. Good morning, Jerry. Good morning. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it so very, very much. My name is Mike Avery, by the way. This is Behind the Mic. I'm actually behind two mics, two microphones. This one that I'm talking on right now, my social media microphone. This one that you will not hear, which is my official broadcast microphone, which will come into play in about 13 minutes or so. Maybe 11 minutes as I record this week's show. And I'll tell you who's coming up on the show here in just a little bit shortly. Tonight, by the way, at 7 o'clock, Amy Trotter of Amy Trotter of MUCC will be joining me on Wednesday Night Live. Numbers are down. Numbers of viewers are down this morning. Way down. I guess that's not to be I shouldn't be surprised, right, with it so nice out. However, we usually get a pretty good crew this morning. And also on Wednesday Night Live. Okay, some of the things I'm talking about. June is coming up. If you live here in Michigan, do not forget to apply for your Michigan Bear and your Michigan Elk tags. Time is running out on that. I applied for a point only for my Michigan Bear hunt, and I applied for a bull only elk tag. I'll never get one, but it's like, if you're going to apply, why not apply for a bull tag? You can too. Go to the DNR's website, or you can apply on the app. Turkey season ends here in Michigan this weekend. You still have time to get your bird. I've had several pictures come in here in the last few days of people wrapping up. Okay. I'm sorry, I got a couple of texts coming in here. Hey, Brent, good morning, buddy. How are you? John Kirby, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining me. Uncle Johnny, how you doing, buddy? Did you get a hold of the guy over in Midland yet? And what are you doing? You don't need to tell me right now. I'm just curious off air. What are you doing that you need his help? Joe Llewellyn. Pastor, good morning. How are you? How are things in beautiful northern Michigan? Hey, Joe, where you're at, did you get hit by the ice, or did it go primarily east of you? I feel like you might have been right near the center of things. And how did that affect you and your congregation and your church? Scott, good morning. How are you? Fish was 18 feet off Seaboing. A nice brown 18. Come on in here, Art. This guy right here, Art Lewis of WSUW, a member of the Michigan Broadcast Hall of Fame. And I just heard you're going to be joining us Friday, July 25th in West Branch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't wait.
You, Mark Thomas, a couple of the salespeople here.
Yeah.
This will be your second Mike Avery Outdoors
It
Charity
will
Golf
indeed.
outing.
It will indeed.
So I'll look forward to that. Also, did you hear that I'm working with Chris Durson, and he's making a Mike Avery signature knife.
I did hear that, and I want to know when it's available.
They just poured the acrylic yesterday see if red, bright red. You get a blood red color, combine it with a burl maple handle.
Is it a foldable?
It is a foldable, just like you and I carry all the time. Right. Proceeds will go to the Outdoor Driven Group, who you've had in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Compass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Proceeds are going to go to that.
Will I be able to use Avery 15?
Not on this knife.
I didn't think so.
If we can't do it on this knife because then there's no proceeds to give to the charity.
I mean,
I know you get it, right? And I appreciate that. So I'll let you know when that's here.
Please
we
do.
will see you July 25th.
Or before.
Not before.
Get your boat in the water.
No kidding. And folks can listen to you every day.
Every day, Monday to Friday.
Well, yeah. And if they don't live here locally, they can hear the podcast.
Absolutely.
Arthur, always a pleasure.
Same here, Mike.
One of the good guys right here, Art Lewis of WSGW. He's been around for a long time. He's going to be around for a long time. When Art retires, then I'll think about retiring, and Art's never going to retire. 18 feet off Seaboing. Very cool. Very good point. Good point, Derek. My schedule was screwed up this week, thrown off. Mickey, good morning. Hello, Mike. How are you? Mike, I expect we will see you in West Branch on July 25th. By the way, if you're thinking about playing in that event, joining us for the outing, now is the time to sign up. Go to mucc.org/golf, and you can sign up for the event. mucc.org/golf. TJ says he's ready to see the knife. Now, for now, it's just one knife. It's going to be one model. All right, it's going to be this, very similar to this. It's going to be the Uper Pocket Clip, but it's going to have an acrylic and burl maple or maple burl handle. The acrylic color will be blood red. The knife will have my signature on it. And the proceeds, most of the proceeds from the knife, will go to Outdoor Driven, which is a group here in Michigan to get vets and first responders in the outdoors. Mickey says ticks are out. So are fleas. That bird that Trent shot last week had a lot of fleas on it. Ruben, how are things in the beautiful state of Colorado? Jim checking in from the YMCA. The YMCA. I don't know how you do it. Kevin, good morning. How are you? Nice to have you along with us as always. Mike says they are signed up. Kevin, always a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you soon. They are all signed up. Again, mucc.org/golf. Okay. Turkey season is ending here this weekend in Michigan. The deadline for applying for Michigan bear and elk applications is this weekend. I talked about the Rapid River Knife and the progress of that. I should be able to see the color of the acrylic today to see if it's what I'm thinking. Chris is very open to working with me, especially when he found out that I was looking to work with a veterans group. So he's all in on that. Ed, good morning, buddy. How are you? How is the fishing? Ed, I think I will see you. Will I see you at Walleye for Warriors this year, Ed? I think so. Ed, a friend of mine from Northern Michigan, also works with the folks at WATZ these days, out of Alpena. Amy Trotter tonight. I will see you at Walleye for Warriors. Excellent. Will I see you at the second annual Mike Avery Outdoors Charity Golf Outing? I would love to see a team from WATZ there. Is that going to happen? I hope so. Okay. Ken, good morning, Mike. We're back at Linwood Beach Marina for the season. Looking forward to Walleye for Warriors. Excellent, Ken. I will look forward to seeing you there. Make sure you come up and say hi to me. That will be wonderful. Yes, Amy Trotter is joining tonight, Wednesday Night Live. She will be talking about all things outdoors here in the great state of Michigan. Johnny Bowler, good morning, buddy. How are you? Johnny, my good friend and bear guide from the Newberry District. Now, I did not apply for a bear tag this year because I got a tag last year. I only applied for a point. So next year, I can apply for a tag, and 50-50, I'll get one. I am going back to White River, Ontario in August this year to hunt with Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters, and I think I will have him on the radio show this week. Okay, Cliff, I wondered where you were, Cliff. Cliff was sleeping in this morning. Tyler says, hope you've been practicing your swing. Tyler, since I haven't been fishing yet, that's pretty much all I've been doing is golfing, and yet it's interesting. My wife, Denise, she's hitting the ball very, very well. I, on the other hand, am playing like I've never picked up a golf club before. It's confusing and frustrating if I would let it be, but I refuse to let myself get frustrated by golf. Michael, good morning. How are you? Mike says, we are heading to Canada tomorrow for our spring bear hunt and fishing trip. Mike, good luck to you. Have fun. Dave, good morning. How are you, my friend? Okay, here's who's coming up. Okay, Johnny, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not asking for details publicly. Shoot me a text and let me know, although I will not be able to respond right away. Chris, good morning. How are you? Jarrett, nice to have you along with us. Who's coming up on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this week? Thank you, Ed. That would be wonderful. Alpha Media down here at WSUW has put together a team. I'd love to see you there. Okay, coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, Jesse Hurst is my first guest. Jesse talks about bow fishing in Michigan. He talks about their big tournament coming up and their efforts to get kids involved in the sport. I will look forward to that conversation. Then Ashley Lister of Security Credit Union joins me. Security Credit Union is a longtime supporter of the Outdoor Magazine radio show, but here's the most interesting part. The Security Credit Union Foundation, gotcha, Johnny. The Security Credit Union Foundation has come on board as our top dog sponsor for this year's event. How cool is that? I want to publicly thank Ashley for that support. In our second hour, Joe Bednar, a guy who loves to fish for Michigan pike, talks about the appeal of that toothy critter. I don't target pike. When you catch them, they're a tremendous fight, and some of the folks I fish with who I take fishing take them home, others do not. We never throw them in the live well, though. I say, okay, if you're going to take this fish, we'll throw them in the live well. If you're not going to take him, if you're unsure, we're going to let him go. Then Seth Herbst from the DNR. And Ed, you reminded me about this. What is this called, Ed? Remind me. It's this Great Lakes Walleye Challenge or something along that line. Seth is going to talk about that. Then John Up with this week's Ask Avery question. He's from River Raisin Ballistics, talking about their 41 Great Lakes cartridge. And then Ed Rutherford joins me in hour number 3. Ed has been a charter captain on Northern Lake Huron for like 50 years. I think he's the longest working charter captain on the Great Lakes. And, of course, we'll wrap it all up with Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire. Dixie Dave Miner, Danny Johnson of Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. Danny, good morning. RMEF, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. I drink from this Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation mug, Yeti mug, every week. I would not have bought it because I think Yeti is overpriced. But when people buy them for me or give them to me, I'm more than happy to take advantage. So thank you, Danny. Right now it's filled with black coffee. Tonight, soon it will be filled with Crystal Light, and tonight's show will be filled with Crystal Light as well. On tonight's show, Amy Trotter of MUCC joins me, by the way. Charlie Rood just walked into the studio. I am surrounded by greatness. First, well, not yet, Art. It's a little early. I'm surrounded by greatness this morning. I had Art Lewis in the studio. Now, Charlie Rood is in the studio. Young John Dent, Jonathan Dent, was here earlier. I was teasing John. John is so talented and so smart, and everybody who works with him knows that. But he doesn't have the career yet that the old guys have had. He will, but not yet. I haven't. Oh, Mike, no, I have not shot the 41 Great Lakes yet, but I know your brother Gabe has been instrumental in field testing that caliber. So I there's a lot of hype around it, and I hear it's justified. Danny, you are more than welcome. Rocky, you know I love the name Rocky. Can't wait to get a Rapid River knife Mike Avery edition. I can't wait to make them available. Dan, good morning. How are you? Again, that knife, the Rapid River knife, the Mike Avery signature knife, you will not be able to use the promo code Avery15, Avery15. Because if we take 15% off the top of that, there is no profit. And even though I am not making any money on this one at all, Chris Durson has cut his proceeds back significantly. We've got to have a little fat on top that we can give to the folks at Outdoor Driven. And again, Outdoor Driven is a group that takes veterans and first responders into the outdoors. Mike says he's taken a few with it, more than excited to replace the 450 and the 350. That's what I've heard, Mike. People who have used this 41 Great Lakes said it is a more than capable replacement for the 450 and the 350. 450 Bushmaster and the 350 Legend. So anyway, John Up will be joining me to give me a replacement. Yes, I can, Ed. I will do that. Is that the right one? Nope, that's not the right one. I need to get rid of that one. I went through this last week, and I thought I had cleared out all the old flyers from last year's event, but I will, Chris, Ed, I will send you that when I get a break here this morning. For some reason, caffeine is really good this morning. Charlie, what are we eating in the studio this morning? It is not Michigan brand products, but rather the good old-fashioned bit of honeys. Charlie loves these things as much as I do. So every once in a while, my wife Denise will surprise me. She's like, here's a couple of bags of this. Take it in for the guys in the studio. Now, what you don't know, Charlie, is if she gives me 2 bags of them, only one make it to the studio. Although this morning I did bring in 2, and I gave you and John one as well. Thank you, Tyler. It's mucc.org/golf. And I've got the flyer here, but I don't have the right one to bring up. I will bring it up tonight when Amy joins me. Amy Trotter of MUCC, mucc.org/golf to sign up. The event is Friday, July 25th. That's coming up fast. We will fill up. I'm not going to tell you we were close to being filled right now because we are not, but we will fill up. But we can't fill up until all the people who say they're going to be a part of this thing have committed. I actually have 2 teams in it this year myself. 30 seconds. So, in a few seconds, 15 to be exact. No, like 10. No, like 8, 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Okay, here's what is playing in the studio right now, the opening to this week's show. So, let me get another yawn out of the way. I don't know where these yawns are coming from lately. I had a bad case of the yawns last week. Okay, so I will be switching gears. I will be putting on my official broadcast headphones, talking into my official broadcast microphone, not ignoring my official social media mic. Anyway, tomorrow morning, leave up. Excellent, Vaughn. Excellent. All right, my friends, have a great day. See you tonight. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show. Charlie, if you don't mind, when you get a chance, bump the level of those phones up. I dealt with this last week, too. I usually have the headphone level set perfectly. Sometimes during the course of the week, things get a little bit askew here in the studio, and I think that's what happened this week. In fact, I bet I know what happened. Last week we had that phone problem, and the guys were going through the system, and I'll bet you that's one of the things they tweaked, and that's why. But the phones are perfect this week, from what I understand. Young John Dent, as I'm going to continue to call him, young Jonathan Dent, until the guy's about 40 years old, and by then I'll be... Well, I don't know if I'll be gone or just off the air. I don't know that yet. Anyway, welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across our great state of Michigan. It's not officially summertime yet, is it? The calendar doesn't say so. But we do have the Memorial Weekend behind us, which means unofficially we are now in the summertime season. A lot of the kids are done with school now. I went to a high school graduation for 2 of my grandkids last week, Addison and Carter. So it's basically the summertime season, right? And I feel like now finally, as we get ready to jump into the month of June, it might even be June, depending on when you listen to this show. Can we hope that weather pattern that was plaguing us earlier in the spring is now behind us? And by that, I mean cold. Again, we were at a ball game last week dressed in our winter clothes, and those northeast winds. What is it? What has it been about springtime that has brought those northeast winds consistently this spring? I feel like maybe that weather pattern has broken, and maybe we're going to be into more stable, warmer, lighter southwest winds. Let's hope so. You know, we talk about the weather, we gripe about the weather, we complain about the weather, but there's not a darn thing we can do about it, right? The old adage, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. If we could, we would. Here in Michigan, turkey season ends this weekend and Saturday. Did you get your bird? I have a lot of pictures of, not a lot, several pictures of people who connected with their bird this last week. Now, I used to joke about the mosquito season when it comes to Michigan turkey hunting. and the fact that I love to be out there. The opening weekend back in April, third Saturday in April, whatever it is, and it's a different world back then. But I have grudgingly come to become a big believer in the mosquito season too. In fact, we got Trent's bird last week during the mosquito season. So did you get your bird? Did you apply for your Michigan bear or your Michigan elk tag? That is open through this weekend. Now, I did not apply for a Michigan bear tag. Avery, did you miss the deadline? Nope, I remembered, but I applied for a point only. I did apply for a Michigan bull elk tag. I know. By applying for a bull only tag, I significantly decreased my odds of getting a tag. I know it. I'll never get a Michigan bull elk tag unless I win the Pure Michigan hunt, that is. That's how it's going to happen. So I applied for a bull elk tag, and I applied for a point only for my Michigan bear tag because I did get a bear tag last year. Hunted with Johnny Bowler, the bear whisperer. And just now wrapping up the bear brats that are in the freezer. In fact, I talked with, again, young John Dent, and he pulled out his bear brats I had given him for Memorial Weekend, and he said they were outstanding. So I plan to go back to White River, Ontario, Canada in mid-August to bear hunt once again. So no Michigan bear tag this year. At least I did not apply for one, so I won't get one. Okay, the status on the Rapid River knife, the Avery signature version, the Mike Avery signature version of the Rapid River knife. I'm so excited about this. I talked with Chris Durson yesterday, and they were pouring the acrylic yesterday, so I should see what that looks like today. We're trying to get just the perfect bright blood red color. There's a reason I'm looking for that specific color. Chris is all in on this. Chris Durson of Rapid River. When he found out what I had in my brain, he says, Mike, we will of course work with you. And so what this is going to be, and I don't know if we'll be able to see that by this weekend yet. It's a Rapid River Uper pocket clip foldable knife. The handle will be blood red acrylic with burl maple or maple burl, depending on how you want to say it. That combination of handle is going to look beautiful. The blade will have my signature on it. And the proceeds from this will go to a group called Outdoor Driven. That is a Michigan-based group that deals with veterans and first responders, getting them in the outdoors. What more could I ask for? If I'm going to be involved in a charity, it's going to be outdoor related, veterans related, and this hits all cylinders. The promo code Avery15, Avery15, will not work on this knife for obvious reasons. We don't want to take 15% off the top of this thing because that's where the proceeds for Outdoor Driven will come from. I don't know when this will be available yet, but it's going to be soon. I can tell you, though, speaking of charities and outdoor events, the second annual Mike Avery Outdoors Charity Golf Outing it's coming at us. It's coming at us fast. It will be Friday, July 25th at the beautiful West Branch Country Club in beautiful West Branch, Michigan, in beautiful Ogemaw County. Proceeds from that event are going to MUCC's youth camp to get kids involved in the outdoors. Again, if I'm going to be involved in a charity, it's going to be outdoor related. MUCC.org/golf if you would like to sign up. MUCC.org/golf. We will fill up the event this year. I'd love to see you there. I would love to see you be a part of it. MUCC.org/golf. I am so excited for that event. I am so excited to see what this Mike Avery signature knife looks like. Now, Chris Durson said, Avery, what we should do, because Chris is a pretty forward-thinking guy, and if you go to his shop in Rapid River on US 2, just east of Rapid River, you'll see what I'm talking about. He said, I think there should be a whole series of Mike Avery signature knives. And I said, Chris, let's walk before we run. So let's go with one knife first and see how that turns out and see what the interest in that is. But I'm convinced it's going to be a very, very popular knife. Okay, what else? What else? Amy Trotter of MUCC, as you're hearing the broadcast version of this show, she joined me last week for Wednesday Night Live. She's always a very popular guest. Love to have Amy on there. She's so smooth, and she is so well versed and so educated and in tune and in touch with the outdoors here in Michigan. That's why one of the reasons why I partner with MUCC. Again, on the golf outing and more. If you would like to be a part of the second annual Mike Avery Outdoors Charity Golf Outing, the way to sign up, go to mucc.org/golf, mucc.org/golf. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show after the upcoming break, Seth Hurst joins me from the Michigan Bow Fishing Association to talk about, you guessed it, bow fishing, a big event coming up, and their efforts to get kids involved in the sport of bow fishing. You know I'm going to support that. Then Ashley Lister of Security Credit Union. Security Credit Union has stepped up the Security Credit Union Foundation to become the top dog sponsor for this year's golf outing. I want to publicly thank her for that, and talk about Security Credit Union, how they love to work with outdoorsmen and women. In our second hour, Joe Bednar on pike fishing here in Michigan. Joe is a hardcore pike angler. He will talk about that. And then Seth Herbst from the Michigan DNR talking about a very interesting walleye derby tournament. I don't know how you would phrase this, but it's an event that it's a 6-week derby. Seth will have more on that. And then John Up from River Raisin Ballistics talks about the 41 Great Lakes cartridge. That's this week's Ask Avery segment. And in hour number 3, Ed Rutherford, the longtime Northern Lake Huron charter captain from Trout Scout Charters, joins me. And, of course, we will wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. That's all coming up this week right here on Outdoor Magazine. I am so glad you're with us. Stick around. It's going to be another good show. Aditya, good morning. I couldn't say hello to you because I was recording the show. Aditya, pleasure. We will see you this weekend. Jerry's looking forward to having Amy with us tonight. Beverly, good morning. Mark, good morning. Aditya once again. Jerry, good morning. Rob checking in from White River, Ontario, Canada, where I will be in mid-August. All right, my friends, have a great day. I'm going to stop this live feed, but I'll be back. In the meantime, you have a wonderful day and enjoy this beautiful weather.